Hello, audiophiles of the internet, and welcome back to Audio 46, your headphone destination. My name is Franco, and today we'll be getting into a topic that has caused a lot of interest, but also a lot of confusion for audiophiles everywhere, and this can be summed up in three simple letters: MQA. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but it's been causing quite the stir, with some people swearing by it as the future, and others decidedly not. So, what is it exactly? Well, we're going to break that down for you right now. MQA stands for Master Quality Authenticated, and it is a codec that seeks to digitally capture and store original master audio recordings as files that are high-res and retain lots of information, but also small and compact. MQA is also the name of the licensed technologies that work with this format. To get into why this is significant, first a word on digital music. Full disclosure, this is going to be somewhat simplified for the sake of time, but we go on. As many of you know here, when music is recorded in an analog format, that is, when a musician plays an instrument into a microphone and it is recorded, in order for that music to be enjoyed digitally, it has to be converted from an analog to a digital format. There are typically two different ways in which this happens. The first way is via what is called a lossy file type, the best example of which is an MP3. The purpose of an MP3 is to get the information of a song onto as small a file as possible, so you can store a bunch of songs on something like a portable player or an iPod. The problem is, when you are making a file that small, you are also losing a lot of the information that was captured in the original recording. So a bass response might sound weaker, the transient of a drum cymbal might not have an accurate decay, or the attack of guitar strings being plucked might be blurred. The counter to this is what is called a lossless file type. Much like the name suggests, this is the inverse, with small file size being sacrificed in turn for a file that is much more detailed and has a lot more sonic information. A lossless file such as a FLAC file can be 2 to 3 times the size of even the most sophisticated MP3. This can be great if you want higher quality detailed sound above all else, but it is somewhat impractical for storing a huge music library digitally, as well as impractical for streaming. Now, streaming is very important to bring up here because it is the way that the vast majority of us consume our music today, and it does not seem like that is going to change anytime soon, if ever. Most streaming services offer their sound in standard definition with MP3s or similarly compressed files because of that space and bandwidth element. This has meant that there has been a binary between the convenience of audio streaming and the high quality of large hosted lossless sound files. But what if that gap could be eliminated? Enter MQA. It makes sense to reason that if a technology can be developed that provides more information but in a smaller file size, then a streaming service can put out a higher quality file using the same amount of bandwidth, which is exactly what MQA purports to do. Beyond the economy of space and technological efficiency, MQA is also underlined by a philosophy of artistic integrity. An MQA file is sent off by the mixing or mastering engineer with a seal of approval that says this is the song exactly as the artist has intended it to sound from the studio, with no amount of lost information or degradation due to the digitizing process. So how does it actually work? Well, this is unsurprisingly an extremely technical process that is far too much so to get into exact detail, but to give you a general overview, it goes something like this. When a performance is recorded in the studio with the full amount of information required to reproduce its studio quality, that extra amount of information that is typically left out of a smaller file size is instead embedded underneath the digital architecture of a track through an algorithm. MQA refers to this encoding process as folding, since they are folding the sonic information in underneath itself. On the decode side, that is, when you listen to the track with a system that can unfold the MQA information within the file, such as Tidal, which offers an MQA streaming option, the file unfolds one layer to expand to CD quality. Meridian actually claims that MQA is better than CD quality because of the way it handles phase integrity, which apparently is not captured as purely in some other digital capture formats, but there are mixed opinions on this. To go beyond the MQA software, if you have some MQA-compatible hardware, such as an MQA DAC, the renderer in that DAC will complete 2 more layers of unfolding. The information contained in these layers is largely inaudible, but even if you cannot hear a particular frequency, you can feel it, and that will affect how you hear and experience the sound. The presence of this inaudible information is what leads high-res audio to have the feeling of richness and depth that gives it its pristine quality. It is important to note that MQA is not a file type, but rather a format within a format. MQA functions tucked inside of lossless formats that already exist, such as WAV, AIF, and FLAC. So even if you don't have the MQA tech to perform the unfolding, your files will still play where they are compatible and always at least CD quality. This is all while retaining a file size that is never any larger than CD, even if the sampling rate of the MQA information can go much higher. So this sounds great, right? It's some groundbreaking technology. It's the future, the next wave. It must be. Well, for some, yes. But others are not quite so convinced, and there's a variety of reasons for this. For one thing, there are many out there that question just how much better than the standard the reproduction is. There have been many different audio formats that have come and gone claiming to do the same thing of offering the best sound possible, when in fact it's not much of a difference and they become obsolete. There are some cynics out there that will say, as I read in one magazine, that MQA is 1% innovation and 99% marketing. While I think that that is definitely too much of a reduction, I will say that the abundance of marketing materials involving lots of philosophical waxing and frankly very dramatic videos of people reacting like they've seen the face of God is not overwhelmingly helpful in this regard. There is also the issue of digital rights management. MQA is patented out the wazoo, and the news that the major 3 record labels have signed on, as well as partners like Tidal, is alarming to some. Some see this as a massive land grab to ensure that every producer and gear manufacturer out there will be forced to pay a per-item licensing fee for MQA compatibility, which would disadvantage smaller manufacturers and generally make everything up the supply chain become more expensive. The fact of the matter here is that the issue of a company trying to introduce a new technological standard is a tricky one, especially when it markets itself as some kind of miracle breakthrough, even when most people think that it is the same as what has come before, or even worse, think it is not as good as what has come before. Alright guys, I'm going to stop there for this video, but as you can see, this is a massive topic with many, many layers. This is far from our definitive statement on the subject, and is more like our primer for you going out and looking into it, doing some research, and finding what this technology is, and what its effects are on the audiophile community. But that's all to say, maybe you think it sounds great and you just enjoy listening to it, in which case, feel free to ignore everything I've said here and go ahead and do just that, because that is the important thing here. As I say in almost every video I make, the thing with sound is that it is subjective. So what do you guys think? Do I have any Tidal listeners out there that listen to MQA very often? Are you for it? Are you against it? Does it concern you? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to see your input, as this is a topic that I didn't know about very much before and now I'm extremely interested in. And while you're down there, don't forget to click the subscribe button so that you never miss another video from our channel. For more information like this, or just to check out the different products that we carry, feel free to go to our website at audio46.com to check out our blogs and other reviews. And as always, if you happen to find yourself in New York City, then feel free to stop by our brick and mortar store on 46th Street so that you can come in, say hello, and try out our different products for yourself. That's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you once again for watching Audio 46, your headphone destination. My name is Franco, and I will see you all very soon.